You wake up tired. You pray every day, give thanks, ask, cry hidden in the bathroom so no one sees, and still feel like no one up there hears you. You stare at the ceiling in the early hours with that tightness in your chest and softly ask, God, where are you? Why is it so heavy just for me? Today, right now, he decided to answer. If you're watching this video, it's not by chance, it's not an algorithm. It was he who placed this message in your path. And what God wants to tell you is something he held on to for years, waiting for you to be ready to hear. He says, I never wanted to tell you this, but you're not suffering because you failed. You're suffering because you were chosen. Pay attention to that sentence. It changes everything. Everything you're experiencing today, the persistent tiredness, the doors that close, the money that doesn't stretch, the friends who vanished, the fluctuating health, the family who doesn't understand, none of this is punishment. None of this is a lack of faith, it's a test, it's a selection. It's the Father testing the child he set apart for a greater mission. And in this video, I'm going to show you the clear signs that you are a chosen one, why your life seems harder than other people's, and what the Father is expecting from you right now, this very moment, to turn everything around. If this message has already resonated within you, leave the word Amen in the comments so the Father knows you've received the call. And here comes a truth that many people don't want you to see. What you're experiencing isn't random. You've received the Father's call, and the enemy knows it. That's why the battle in your life became heavier, precisely when you started to draw closer to Him. The problems you see today, the bills, the fights at home, the poor health, are just the visible layer of a much larger spiritual chessboard where you are the main target. That's why the Father prepared the sacred book for you, 21 days of prosperity and alignment with God. This sacred book isn't just a reading. It brings the prayers, psalms, and exact steps the Father revealed to break through this phase of probation and place your life on the divine axis in 21 days. The link is in the first pinned comment on this channel. This content challenges the narratives of the system. They've already tried to silence it, already tried to take it down, so download it now before it happens again. After downloading, come back here and comment, I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. This is your act of faith. Now that you've decided to act, the next truth I'm going to tell you will be the final blow against everything that's holding you down. Now I need to ask you a serious question. Have you noticed how your life seems different from other people's lives? As if you fight twice as hard to get half, as if every achievement comes with 3 trials, as if, just when everything seemed to settle, a new problem appeared out of nowhere. This has a name, my brother, my sister. It's called the weight of the calling. God's chosen one doesn't have an easy life, never has. Abraham was tested to sacrifice his own son. Joseph was sold by his brothers and thrown into a pit. David spent years fleeing before becoming king. Job lost everything, children, health, possessions, and still didn't curse the Father. Do you think the story of these men is different from yours by chance? No. They carried a mission and the enemy tried everything to stop them, just as he's trying with you now. Pay attention to these signs, because if 3 or more are happening, you need to know the truth about yourself. Sign 1. You pray and feel that the answer takes too long. While people who don't even remember God's name get everything quickly, you wait months, sometimes years, for a simple answer. This isn't abandonment. This is preparation. God doesn't make you wait as punishment. He makes you wait because the blessing He has prepared for you is too great, and you need to mature before receiving it. Sign 2. You feel a strange pressure, especially at night. Heavy dreams, insomnia without reason, that sudden feeling of weight in your chest. This isn't just anxiety. It's not just the hustle and bustle of daily life. It's spiritual warfare. When you are chosen, the enemy works overtime to lead you astray. Sign 3. People drift away from your life for no apparent reason. Friends who vanished, family members who distanced themselves, relationships that broke without explanation. You keep wondering what you did wrong. You did nothing. The Father is clearing the path. He's removing from your back people who don't belong in your next phase. It hurts, but it's necessary. Sign 4. You feel a strange desire to change, to read the Bible, to pray more, to distance yourself from what used to entertain you. You even feel a repulsion for certain environments, certain conversations, certain music. This is the Holy Spirit calling you. Your body, your soul, your instinct are being redirected to the right path. Sign 5, and this is the strongest. You feel that something big is waiting for you, even without knowing what. A purpose, a mission, a calling, and at the same time, you feel fear because you don't know if you'll be able to handle it. This fear is human, and it is precisely this fear that the Father wants you to surrender into His hands today. If you recognize these signs, take a deep breath. You're not crazy. You're not alone. You are precisely at the moment the Father prepared you to hear the next part of this message. Leave a comment below saying which sign you felt the most. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel and activated the bell yet, do it now, because the next video might be exactly the answer to another question you've been holding on to for a long time. And before continuing, I want to remind you of something urgent. Everything you've just felt, everything you've recognized in these signs, has a deep spiritual origin. It's not psychological. It's not random. You have received the Father's call, and each of these signs is the mark of that calling in your life. The problem is that as long as you don't understand what's happening, you continue to react with despair, with anger, with fear, and this feeds exactly what the enemy wants. The problem you see today is just the visible layer of a much larger spiritual chessboard. While you fight against debts, tiredness, or arguments at home, there's an invisible war being waged for your soul, for your mission, for your destiny. And the enemy bets on your ignorance. He bets you won't discover the truth in time. That's why the Father prepared the sacred book for you, 21 Days of Prosperity and Alignment with God. This sacred book isn't just a reading. It is a spiritual manual delivered by revelation, with the prayers, psalms, and exact steps the Father defined for you to break through this phase of trial, break spiritual sieges, and align your life with divine purpose in 21 days. Each day deals with a sign, a pain, a battlefront. Each chapter delivers a spiritual weapon for the chosen one to win the war that only he can see. The link is in the first pinned comment on the channel. And I need to warn you again. This content challenges the narratives of the system. They've already tried to silence it, already taken it down more than once, so download it now while it's available. After downloading, come back here and comment, "I am chosen, and I will download the digital book." This is your act of faith. It's your yes to the Father. Now that you've decided to act, the next truth I'm going to tell you will be the final blow against the biggest lie you've ever been told about your own suffering. Now listen very carefully, because this part can completely change the way you see everything you've been through. There is a real, spiritual, and profound reason why your life is this way. And no one, not a pastor, not a priest, not a religious leader, has the courage to tell you this to your face. The truth is that God doesn't choose the best. He chooses the most broken. He chooses the one who has already gone through enough pain to understand the value of the blessing. He chooses the one who has been humiliated, betrayed, forgotten, because only those who have been at rock bottom know how to recognize the hand that pulls them up. If your life has been harder than others, it's because the Father needed someone strong to carry what He has to give you. But there's more. And this is where it gets heavy. When the Father marks a person as chosen, that mark is seen in the spiritual world, like a seal, like a raised banner. And the opposing forces see this banner. They organize. They articulate to prevent the chosen one from fulfilling the mission. That's why a chosen one never has the easy life others seem to have. He carries a target on his back from the day he was born. Have you ever stopped to think why you're the different one in your family? The one who's always trying to improve, the one who's always been criticized, the one who became the subject of gossip? It's not a coincidence. Chosen ones often born into families that need their light to break generational curses. And as long as these curses are not broken, they attack precisely the chosen one, because he is the threat. He is the one who will break the cycle. Perhaps you're the first in your family to go to college, or the first to leave your hometown, or the first to try entrepreneurship, to seek therapy, to truly draw closer to faith. And as you try, You feel resistance from all sides. Family members who unknowingly sabotage you, malicious comments in the family chat, unfair comparisons with cousins and siblings. This isn't normal. This is spiritual resistance. You are breaking a chain of generations, and the chain feels itself being broken. I'm going to tell you something that most people in this country over 35 will never hear. Those financial difficulties that many experience precisely in the phase when we should be reaping the fruits of so much work, that salary that never stretches, that job that seems like a bottomless pit, that business that won't take off, often aren't just a lack of organization or an economic crisis. They are spiritual sieges set up to prevent the chosen one from having the resources to fulfill their mission. Because a chosen one with resources helps many people. He supports family, supports ministry, supports calling, creates a legacy. And the enemy knows it. That's why he attacks your wallet, your income, your job, your businesses. It's not for you to starve. It's for you to give up on your purpose. The same goes for health. Have you noticed how certain illnesses appear precisely when you were starting to get your life in order? That high blood pressure that spiked out of nowhere, that headache that became routine, that sleep problem no one can explain, that back pain that appeared along with the decision to change your life. I'm not saying every illness has a spiritual origin. That would be irresponsible. But many of these manifestations are the way the invisible war finds to stop you. While you're dealing with your body, you're not dealing with your calling. And relationships? Here the enemy is even more sophisticated. He places people in your path who seem right for you, but who carry heavy spiritual baggage. They drain your energy, fill you with doubt, make you question your own purpose. A poorly accompanied chosen one is a paralyzed chosen one. That's why God often rips these people out of your life without mercy. It hurts, it makes you want to scream, but it's mercy. It's the Father freeing you from anchors that would have sunk you before you even understood what they were. Now I need to tell you a truth you might not want to hear. Much of the suffering you're experiencing today is the result of one thing. You still haven't accepted that you are chosen. You're still trying to live the normal life others live. You're trying to fit into patterns that weren't made for you. You pray asking to have your neighbor's life, when the Father set you apart for a completely different life. And as long as you resist the call, the Father keeps pressing, keeps closing doors, keeps squeezing you until you accept. It's not malice, it's divine pedagogy. He closes the wrong doors so you can't enter them. He sinks the wrong projects so you don't waste years of your life on them. He removes the wrong people so you don't build a life on a false foundation. Every no you received in life was a hidden yes from the Father, preparing you for the right thing. And here comes the question that will make you cry if you truly pay attention. How many times have you asked God to take away a pain, and He didn't? How many times have you cried asking for something, and the answer took so long that you almost gave up? How many times have you looked up at the sky and thought, maybe He doesn't love me? Pay attention now. God heard you every single time. He cried with you every single time, but He couldn't give you what you asked for at that moment, because what He has to give you is much greater. And if He had given you what you wanted then, you would have been too small to receive what He prepared for later. Comment below if you've experienced this. If you've ever felt that God was taking too long, because the next part of this video is precisely what to do now in practice with this revelation. And if this message is touching you, like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear this today. You don't know how many lives can be rescued with just one share click from you. And now that you understand why your life is the way it is, now that you've seen that every pain had a purpose, I need to tell you something urgent. Understanding isn't enough. You need to act. Because understanding without action is a curse disguised as knowledge. You learn that you are chosen, but you continue to live as a slave. And the Father didn't call you for that. Everything you've lived, everything you've felt, everything you've cried over, is the visible layer of a much larger spiritual chessboard. On this board, you are the target. And every piece that moves against you, every door that closes, every pain that appears, is part of an ancient strategy of the enemy to prevent you from reaching where the Father wants to take you. As long as you don't know the rules of this spiritual game, you play in the dark. You only react. And reacting is always being one step behind. That's why the Father prepared the sacred book for you, 21 Days of Prosperity and Alignment with God. This sacred book isn't just a reading, it is the spiritual map that the Father revealed so that the chosen one can move from the position of victim to the position of warrior. Each of the 21 days deals with a specific battlefront, breaking generational curses that came from your grandparents and great-grandparents, healing emotional wounds that sabotage prosperity without you realizing it, breaking financial strongholds that block your money, restoring relationships, and activating the divine purpose that sleeps within you. Each chapter delivers revealed prayers, strategic psalms, and practical steps for the chosen one to dismantle in 21 days what the enemy took years to set up. The link is in the first pinned comment on this channel, and I need to emphasize, this content challenges the narratives of the system. They've already tried to silence it, already taken it down more than once, so download it now while it's available. After downloading, come back and comment below, "I am chosen and I will download the digital book." This is your act of faith. It's the seal of your yes to the Father. It's the moment you declare to the spiritual world that you have accepted the call. Now that you've decided to act, the next truth I'm going to tell you will be the final blow against the cruelest lie the enemy has ever planted in your life. The moment has come for you to truly hear what God has held back for so long. That initial phrase, "I never wanted to tell you this," but has several layers, and each layer will break a different chain today. The first thing the Father says is, "I never wanted to tell you this, but you are much stronger than life has made you believe." Pay attention. Life has placed so much weight on your shoulders that you learn to see yourself as fragile. You look in the mirror and see someone tired, worn out, someone who has lost a lot. But the Father sees differently. He sees someone who survived everything that should have brought you down. Do you realize how many times you could have given up? How many times you could have chosen the wrong path? How many pits you could have fallen into and didn't? That wasn't luck. It was the hand of God sustaining you when you didn't even know it. Every breath you took on the darkest days was the Father putting breath into you by divine decree. You are not here by chance. You are here because you were kept alive for a purpose. The second thing he says is, "I never wanted to tell you this, but the time of harvest has come." This means that everything you planted, even on days when planting was painful, has begun to turn into seeds ready to sprout. You prayed for years. You worked for years. You endured what no one knew. And now the Father is opening the heavens for the rain to descend upon your land. But there's an important detail that almost no one understands. The harvest only comes to those whose field is prepared. If your field is full of resentment, bitterness, unpaid spiritual debts, the blessing may come, but it won't be able to take root. And then you receive small joys that quickly vanish, earn money that drains away due to an unexpected problem, achieve a peace that breaks due to a trivial argument. That's why the next steps you take are crucial. You need to prepare the field before the rain. And how do you prepare this field? This is where most people make mistakes. They think it's just about praying more, fasting more, going to church more. And these gestures are important, yes. But the Father is asking for something deeper from you now. He is asking for total alignment. This means aligning thought, word, action, and emotion with what He has already decreed for your life. As long as you say one thing and think another, as long as you pray for one thing and fear another, your field remains divided. And divided land does not produce. The third thing he says is, "I never wanted to tell you this, but the enemy is afraid of you." This might sound strange, but it's the most liberating truth you can receive today. You think you're being attacked because you're weak. But the enemy doesn't waste ammunition on those who aren't a threat. He attacks you because he sees what you are going to do. He sees the life that will be transformed because of your story. He sees the grandchildren and great-grandchildren who will be born free because you broke the chain. He sees the church that will be sustained by your blessing, the child who will be rescued by your prayer, the neighbor who will find God because of your transformation. And he is desperate to stop it. Every time you felt like you were going to collapse, it was because hell was mobilizing reinforcements against you. And every time you resisted, even crying, even tired, you made the enemy lose another round. You are not the persecuted. You are the pursuer of your own destiny. And the enemy is running ahead of you, trying to close the doors that the Father has already left open for you. Pay attention now, because here comes the fourth truth, which is perhaps the most important of all. He says, I never wanted to tell you this, but you were set apart before you were born. Before you were born, before your father and mother even met, before anything in this physical plane, you already had a name, you already had a mission, you already had a purpose recorded in the book of heaven. You are not an accident. You are not left over. You are not that child no one expected. You were chosen, planned, and sent. And everything that happened in your life, including the hardest things, was permitted by the Father because only then would you reach the point of accepting who you truly are. Many people hear this and cry, and they cry for a specific reason, because deep down you always knew. There was always a voice inside you saying that you were meant for more, that there was something different about your story, that you weren't meant to live the small life they tried to push on you. That voice wasn't madness. It was the Holy Spirit reminding you of who you are. Now, what to do with all this? How to apply these truths to a real life, with bills, with children to raise, with tiring work, with a difficult marriage, with an elderly parent to care for. The first thing is to understand that the Father doesn't ask for transformation all at once. He asks for one step at a time. And the first step is this. You need to make an alignment pact for 21 days. Why exactly 21 days? Because behavioral science has already shown that 21 days is the time the human brain needs to establish a new pattern, and spirituality has always known this. Daniel fasted for 21 days to receive a revelation from heaven, and it was exactly on the 21st day that the angel appeared to him, saying that the answer had gone forth on the first day, but opposing forces had held back the blessing for 21 days. In other words, there is a spiritual siege over your life that needs 21 days of steadfastness to be broken, not one day less. During these 21 days, you need to do 3 simple but absolutely non-negotiable things. The first is morning prayer before anything else. Before picking up your phone, before checking the news, before complaining about the day, you need to surrender that day to the Father. It doesn't need to be a long prayer. It needs to be a heartfelt prayer. Father, this day is yours. Do with me what you will. This simple prayer reprograms your spirit and places your day under divine covering from the very first second. The second thing is a daily psalm. Each day, a specific psalm for a specific area. Psalm 1 for prosperity, Psalm 23 for trust, Psalm 91 for protection, Psalm 121 for guidance, Psalm 51 for inner healing, and so on. A psalm is living word. It is a decree. When you declare a psalm aloud, you are moving the spiritual world. It's not a suggestion, it's a command. The third thing is gratitude at night before going to sleep. You list 3 good things that happened during the day. Even on the worst days, you find 3. A glass of water, a breath, a child's smile, and you give thanks. Gratitude is one of the most powerful weapons in the universe because it tunes your frequency to the frequency of heaven. Those who give thanks attract. Those who complain repel. Besides these 3 pillars, you need to cut out some things during these 21 days. Cut out gossip. Cut out complaining. Cut out news channels that fill you with fear. Cut out social media content that robs you of your peace. You are preparing to receive a blessing, and a great blessing needs a clean field. If you keep filling the field with trash, the harvest will come contaminated. And here comes something almost no one has the courage to say. You also need to temporarily cut contact with certain people during these 21 days. Not forever, just during this period. You are in a sacred moment, and not everyone can enter the sanctuary with you. That relative who only calls to complain about life, that friend who always brings despair, that group chat that only brings you down, take a break. They will understand later when they see the transformation. Throughout the 21 days, strange things may start to happen. Vivid dreams, unexpected encounters, money arriving from surprising sources, people returning to your life to ask for forgiveness, doors opening out of nowhere. Don't be surprised. It's the Father clearing the path and pouring out what was held back for a long time. It's also possible that resistance will increase in the first few days. You might feel lazy about praying, the urge to give up on the process, extra tiredness without reason, that relative appearing out of nowhere to get on your nerves. This is normal. This is the siege reacting. Persist. Every day you endure is a wall of the siege falling. Around the 10th day, you'll start to feel something different in the air. On the 15th day, lightness begins to appear. On the 21st, the siege falls completely, and you enter a spiritual level you've never experienced before. And after these 21 days, you don't go back to what you were. You enter a new phase, a phase of harvest, of purpose, of active mission. It's as if life turns an entire page, and you begin a new chapter with completely different rules. I know you might be thinking, but will this work for me? I've tried so many things. Pay attention. You haven't tried this. You've tried human methods, human plans, human discipline. Here we're talking about a path that came by revelation, a path that respects the laws of heaven and earth, a path that has already transformed thousands of lives of people like you in this country who were at their limit, with accumulated debt, with marriage in crisis, with a child on the wrong path, with fluctuating health, and found in the Father the turning point they needed. You deserve this turning point. You have suffered enough, you have waited enough, you have carried too much weight alone, and the Father no longer wants to see you waiting at the door. He wants to bring you in. He wants to seat you at his table. He wants to dress you in the best robe, as the Father did with the prodigal son. Only this time the son is not prodigal, the son is chosen, and the chosen one has an inheritance. And that's exactly why I need to call your attention now with great firmness. Everything I've explained to you about the 21 days, about alignment, about breaking the spiritual siege, is organized, revealed, and structured in a single place. You don't need to put pieces together. You don't need to search through several books. You don't need to guess where to start. The Father has already delivered the map ready. Everything you're experiencing today, everything you've cried over, everything you've felt firsthand over these years, is the visible layer of a much larger spiritual chessboard. On this board, you are the target, and the rules of the game have been hidden from you your entire life. As long as you play without knowing the rules, you lose automatically. But the Father no longer wants to see you losing. He wants to hand you the manual, clearly, in the clearest way possible. That's why the Father prepared the sacred book for you, 21 Days of Prosperity and Alignment with God. This sacred book isn't just a reading. It is the day-by-day compilation of the exact plan revealed by the Father, so that you, the chosen one, can move from a position of suffering to a position of victory in 21 days. Each day brings a specific prayer for a battlefront in your life. Day 1 works on breaking financial strongholds. Day 2 works on healing emotional wounds that no one else sees. Day 3 works on breaking generational curses that came from your grandparents and great-grandparents, without you even knowing. Day 7 works on marital and family alignment. Day 14 works on health restoration. Day 21 works on the full activation of the divine purpose that sleeps within you. And amidst all this, revealed psalms, powerful decrees, strategic fasting, and practical steps that anyone can follow, even working all day, even with a full house, even with the busy life of someone in this country over 35. The sacred book teaches the specific rules to overcome exactly what you are facing. If you feel your life is stuck for no reason, there's a chapter for that. If you feel money comes in and disappears, there's a chapter for that. If you feel spiritual heaviness at home, there's a chapter for that. If you feel the enemy is surrounding your family, your child, your marriage, there's a chapter for that. If you don't know your purpose, there's a chapter for that. Nothing has been left out. It is the complete map for the chosen one to win, written based on revelation and organized day by day. The link is in the first pinned comment on this channel, pinned there on purpose to be the first thing you see when you scroll down. And I need to warn you again with full responsibility. This content challenges the narratives of the system. They've already tried to silence it, already taken it down more than once, already threatened to remove it. Because there's an interest in keeping you asleep, an interest in you continuing to suffer in silence, an interest in you not knowing the spiritual truths this book delivers. Interests that move in the invisible, but whose effect you've been feeling firsthand for years. So download it now while it's available. Don't leave it for tomorrow. The chosen one's tomorrow isn't guaranteed by the system, it's guaranteed by the Father. But the step, the click, the decision, That part is yours. After downloading, come back here and comment below with faith, without fear, without shame. I am chosen and I will download the digital book. This comment isn't just a word, it's a decree, it's a seal. It's your yes to the Father registered in the spiritual and material world simultaneously. It's the moment you declare to heaven and earth that you accept the mission He prepared since before your birth. And heaven moves with decree. Heaven responds to those who raise their voice. Those who stay silent remain in the cycle. Those who declare break the cycle. Those who act change history. Now that you've decided to act, the next truth I'm going to tell you will be the final blow against the last lie that still tries to hold you down. And this last truth is simple, but definitive. The Father didn't call you to remain as you are. He called you to transform, and every transformation begins with a decision. Your decision today is one. Will you continue to carry the burden alone, trying to understand in the dark, or will you accept the map He lovingly prepared, day by day, prayer by prayer, to take you out of this cycle? If you've made it this far, it's because the message has already fulfilled its purpose in your life. Now only the action remains. Go to the first pinned comment on the channel, download the sacred book 21 Days of Prosperity and Alignment with God, and begin your turning point cycle today, tonight. Comment below, I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. Like the video so the Father knows you received the message. Share it with someone who needs an answer, because your share could be the rope they were asking for in prayer this morning. And if you're not yet subscribed, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell, because the next messages the Father asks me to deliver here might be exactly what you need to hear in the next crisis, in the next early morning, in the next doubt. You are chosen, you are loved, you are called, and the Father is waiting for you with open arms today, now at this very moment. May the peace of the Lord be with you, and from today on, may your life never be the same. Amen.